Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 9th Board of Trustees meeting. Can we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Good job, Hudson. Would you please call the roll?
Trustee Engelberg.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Howell.
Present.
Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Trustee Cronin.
Present.
Mayor Andino.
Present, and we have no appointments today, so we will move to presentations. And the first one will be by Hudson Axelbaum, not Applebaum. And he'll present his proposal on the Tuckahoe Kids Table. So you may come forward now, Hudson. With your helper. We need the little step stool. This should, right.
Hi, I'm Hudson Axelbaum. I live in Tuckahoe, and I will be turning 7 years old in 18 days. At a village meeting a few weeks ago, it was approved to move forward with the Tuckahoe Kids Table. I have returned with my mom to talk about how to make it a success. I proudly worked on the ideas and design with my mom, Sarah, and with Mayor Andino for town information.
You seem to be on the last one. There we go. Okay.
Good help is hard to find, Hudson.
So what is the Tuckahoe Kids Table? It is an opportunity for kids to help raise money for our lovely village by selling homemade items at a dedicated table at the farmers market. The village will welcome a new kid each week to sell items of their choosing to benefit village organizations. 2022 will be our pilot year so we can test out the idea and see how it goes. Now I will answer some frequently asked questions.
How does it work?
Kid hosts and their supervising adult sign up with a form and get selected for a set date. The village will supply a table at the farmers market signs and talk about it online beforehand. Kid hosts show up with their items to sell. They must not require electricity, water, or anything like that. And we will ask buyers to pay what they wish to benefit the selected village committees.
Who can participate?
Tuckahoe kids. Any family who is a resident of Tuckahoe or any group of kids operating in Tuckahoe it are welcome to sign up. We recommend age 5 and up, and all children must be watched at all times by a grown-up. The goal is to get kids like me active in their community. So we ask that you have the kid host take the spotlight to to sell their items.
What can we sell?
Anything homemade. Everybody loves a quick snack like brownies, lemonade, cookies, hot chocolate, or cider. We also welcome crafters or of masterpiece of all backgrounds to sell their items, such as original kid masterpieces, homemade cards, friendship bracelets, flowers, and more. Since all money raised is meant to support local village organizations, we ask that all items you sell are fully donated.
Who are we raising money for?
The Tuckahoe Beautification Association, which is comprised of resident volunteers who, by way of fundraising and donations, strive to protect the aesthetics and historic beauty of the village of Tuckahoe, and the Tuckahoe Juneteenth Committee, which is committed to sharing and celebrating African American history through the experiences of Black Americans, the descendants of enslaved Africans. The committee will sponsor an annual Juneteenth celebration in Tuckahoe and hosts events throughout the year with Juneteenth now a national holiday. We are excited to celebrate and reorganize and recognize this important day as a community.
When can I apply?
Stay tuned to our village Facebook pages for information about how to sign up in the next few days. Now I would like to introduce my mom, Sarah, to talk about the logistics.
You can keep it there. You have to come back. Our
Nice
Facebook
job.
page will be a place where people can learn more about what we're doing, access the FAQ and the sign-up form, and see updates about the table each week, and we can't wait to see pictures. We have created a sign-up form to gauge interest and what dates people want to do it. We're asking that the adults responsible for the Hopeful Kid hosts fill out the form with the dates they can participate, and we'll work to set a calendar, and then we will ask the date be committed to. Right now, we're planning on every other week at the market. Depending on interest, we may remove or add dates. The form will be available in the next few days, so stay tuned. We also have a live link with even more FAQs, and we will add more as questions come up. Lastly, we created a dedicated email address for questions and communication about the initiative. I will be monitoring this, and I'll work with Mayor and the trustees to help answer any questions and provide feedback.
Does anyone have any questions?
Does anyone on the board have any questions for Hudson? It's pretty thorough.
Yep.
Anyone in the community have any questions? Okay.
I have a question. You're going to participate. What will you be selling?
So the question was asked, what will Hudson be selling since he participates?
I would say hot chocolate.
Thank you. One more question. How did Hudson come up with such a great idea?
I wanted to sell like maybe lemonade, and with a little help from Mayor Andino and my parents, I thought of this.
Great job. Thank you, Hudson. So if we could just repeat, Sarah or Hudson, the Facebook page so people could go on it.
And there's actually one more thing.
Okay,
It-
sorry.
One more. There it is. All right, it's facebook.com/Tuckahoe Kids.
Thanks, everyone. We look forward to seeing you at the farmers market.
Thank you, Hudson. Thank you. I say Hudson for mayor, but that's just me. We do have one more presentation from our superintendent. The annual MS4.
Hudson, who's going to want to listen to my presentation? I don't
It's
even
hard to follow.
Oh my God, I'm going to have him do my monthly report. Every year, I give this annual MS4 report. What is an MS4 report? I try to make it as exciting as possible, simple as possible, so people really understand what I'm saying. What is it? It's a municipal stormwater report that we have to give to the state annually. And what that does, the state wants to know how Tuckahoe is managing their stormwater before it reaches our waterway, which our waterway is the Bronx River. So what happens is when it rains, catch basins that you see along the curbside at the end of every block, you'll see water pouring into them. And what they do is they lead to the Bronx River. That's our stormwater. In our streets, we have two parallel pipes that run alongside each other. One is a stormwater system, and the other one is a household sewer system. Those two should never cross. Household sewer is your toilet, your kitchen sink, your dishwasher waste. That goes into the sanitary sewers. And then you have the storm sewers, which run alongside these sanitary sewers that pick up all our rainwater and takes that to the Bronx River. Our sanitary sewers go to the Yonkers sewer treatment plant. So what can we do? Our job is to, number one, inspect we have 7 outfalls that run alongside the Bronx River. So some of you that might walk along the path might notice these big pipes that are embedded in trees over the years, and water sometimes comes out of them, sometimes it doesn't. But they're pretty big, they're pretty massive. And all of our catch basins in Tuckahoe, 500 catch basins, lead into these 7 outfalls in the Bronx River. So next time you take a walk along the path, look for these tremendous pipes, and they lead our catch basins into the Bronx River throughout the entire village, which is pretty impressive if you think about it. So our job is to inspect all 7 outfalls for illicit discharges. Is the water bubbling? Do you see oil congregating around the outfalls? Is there anything out of the ordinary? That's my job, is to inspect them twice a year annually. So we need to inspect and manage anything that might cause illicit discharge, like construction sites. They need to contain their own stormwater and prevent any illicit discharge. We need to prevent crossovers. Home sewers and rainwater can never cross. We can't have our rainwater going into our sewer treatment plant, and we obviously can't have our home sewers crossing over into our waterways. So our job is also to prevent any crossing of one or the other. We want to prevent hazardous spills. Over the years, I've noticed that people were dumping car oil into these catch spaces. They're changing their oils in the street, they're changing them over these catch basins, and these oils are traveling to our waterways. We're just trying to teach everybody that these catch basins lead to our waterways, and our waterways need to be protected. Any toxic chemicals, anything that might be thrown in there, doggy litter, that's all toxic. If that ever happens, please call DPW, and feel free to call me at any time and let me know what happened. We are trained for preventative measures. If there's ever a spill, a major spill, an oil spill, a tanker truck, gasoline, we're trained to also go to that outfall. We're able to tell by the number on the catch basin which one of those 7 outfalls go out to the Bronx River. We're able to prevent any spillage from continuing over into the Bronx River by putting these inflatable tanks into the outfalls and containing any spill that might be caused in the village. So what do? I mean, what we do is I stand up here and tell you about it and ask you questions, public outreach. We have questionnaires at the DPW, on the village website, on the DPW, stormwater management. We have emergency phone numbers that you could contact me at any time. And that's really it. You know, we have sustainable videos also on our website, on the DPW stormwater management. And if anybody has any concerns, any questions, you know, feel free to call me. But this is very important that we take care of this matter every year and reach out to the public and just let them know how simple a catch basin is, but people really don't know what purpose it really serves.
Thanks,
That's
Frank.
all I have.
Any questions from the board?
Make sure I put on my microphone. Superintendent, are there issues with folks, kind of garbage, plastic materials, kind of things coming off, folks not perhaps disposing of their garbage kind of properly going down into the storm sewers?
You know, these catch basins, when they were built years ago, if you notice that the newer catch basins are different than the older catch basins. The older catch basins have a wide mouth opening, so any floatable that is collected along the catch basin will find its way into a waterway. The new catch basins that we've been installing have a prevented guard or a mesh going over that. But we are working forward. DPW has developed a screen, a mesh, that can be made in-house and installed over every catch basin to prevent any floatables. The number one pollutant in our waterways, our major waterways, are plastic and floatables. I don't understand why Westchester County isn't taking a bigger step to prevent this. And it's happening here. It happens in every municipality. We are causing the floatables in our waterways, so we need to contain them. And that's one of the ways of doing that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have no public hearings today, so we will move to adopt the minutes. May I have a motion to move the approval of the minutes for the April 4th meeting as well as the April 25th budget adoption meeting?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone abstain? Thank you. And we're moved to the first opportunity to address the board on any agenda items. If there is anyone present in the courtroom that has any questions, the courtroom, right? You like that, David? Come. You can come to the mic.
You already know me. My name is Kent Folia, 28 Bronx Street. I'm not sure what the protocol is. I have some concerns in the area where we live, and I don't know if we have to be on the agenda to present first, or if I could present today. Maybe you could direct.
So if it has to do with anything on the actual agenda that's current, then you could speak now. If not, you can come to the end, at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll come.
and you can bring it forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone have anything to address the board on regarding any current agenda items? Okay. Someone on Zoom? Okay.
Yes, my question, looking through the resolutions, I was wondering if there will be any information tonight about number 6 and what that means exactly.
So the village has repealed the previous affordable housing ordinance, and we are looking at passing a resolution for a new one. So this public hearing that's set for June 13th will have to do with that new ordinance. We will have that on our website so that everyone has access to it to review in order to get feedback from anyone in the public who wants to come in and give their feedback on the one that we have posted, as well as any future ones that we amend.
Okay, so there will be ample time to review that before this June the 13th?
Correct. And we will likely have,
Time when that can be discussed with the public, or will there be subsequent hearings?
So at the June 13th meeting, we will open the public hearing, and anyone who has any feedback regarding the ordinance will be able to give feedback on the 13th, and we will likely leave the public hearing open for at least one more month, probably longer.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Sure. At this meeting, we're just setting the public hearing to open it. Okay? Okay, so we will move to resolution number 1. May I have a motion authorizing the use of the Main Street Park tennis court by the ECAP on Saturdays from May 21st through June 25th from 10:30 to 11:30, and we are asking ECAP is asking the board to allow them to have a tennis clinic on those days. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so moved. The second resolution authorizing the use of the Main Street Park by the Tuckahoe Juneteenth Committee on Saturday, June 18th from 11 to 6 p.m. for the annual Tuckahoe Juneteenth event. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. The third resolution, may I have a motion authorizing the annual Gifford Street Block Party on June 11th from 12 to 12. David, did you get your invite? No, you didn't. Okay. We'll just crash. How about that? May I have a motion to authorize the street block party?
So moved.
Second.
Any in agreement? I'm like tongue-tied today. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 4, authorizing a facility use agreement with the Westchester Jewish Community Services for use of the Tuckahoe Community Center for a 5-week summer program. May I have a motion to authorize?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And we do need to make some changes to the June board meeting. So I ask for a motion authorizing rescheduling the June 2022 board meeting to June 13th at 8 p.m.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And I just want to remind everyone that the next meeting, to pay attention to the change in the date, it will be on June 13th at 8 p.m. And resolution number 6, authorizing the setting of a public hearing on June 13th to consider the proposed local law regarding the fair housing within the village of Tuckahoe. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, and resolution number 7, authorizing the adoption of the home rule request, asking the state to adopt Assembly Bill 9089 and Bill 8042, reauthorizing the Village of Tuckahoe to impose a hotel occupancy tax until September 1st, 2025. David, before we vote, I know there are a lot of questions about this all the time. Can you please explain a bit, or Gary?
Sure, just real quick. The village itself doesn't have authorization to impose any type of tax, so we actually specifically have to go up to Albany and ask that these bills be passed in order to actually have a hotel occupancy tax. Unfortunately, these bills only last for 3 years, and they sunset after 3 years, so each subsequent 3 years, we have to go back and ask for it again. Interestingly enough, there was something in the New York State budget this year that would have just allowed this in perpetuity. It did not pass, so we're going through this again. I don't see any issues with this. I think our assembly members will shepherd this through pretty easily, but this is just kind of a formality.
Yep. Okay, so may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, and then we have to authorize the sale of a few vehicles. So may I have a motion for numbers 8 and 9, authorizing the sale of a surplus for the Ford model special service diesel to the highest bidder, James Turman of Benton, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $8,300, as well as the sale of the surplus 2014 Ford Focus to the highest bidder, James Lawrence of Esperance, New York, in the amount of $4,550. And I understand, David, you were pretty impressed with those numbers.
Yep. So moved and thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we got to pay some bills. May I have a motion to authorize the approval of vouchers in the amount of $469,787.07?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And resolution number 7, authorizing the receipt and collection from several owners of property as shown on our assessed roll filed in the office of the village clerk, with the sums named in the columns headed village tax. May I have a motion for that list?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so this will take us to departmental reports. And can we please start with, do you have anything, Camille? Yeah. Changed my mind today.
Now that the budget has been adopted, the tax office is preparing the tax roll and the tax bills. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay. Taxes. Chief, do you want to give your report?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the board. Just a couple of announcements. First, I just want to say this past Friday, the Tuckahoe Police Department once again participated in the annual torch run to bring recognition and raise money for Special Olympics. This is the 36th year that the Tuckahoe Police Department has participated in the torch run. In 1986, there was a young police officer, 26 years old, who carried the torch, and this past year, the old man chief carried it once again. Tuckahoe. I was joined by retired Detective Andrea Pinto and Police Officer Dan Coughlin. And when I stopped at the Eastchester border, they continued to run up to Elmsford. So
Wow.
those two really did a great job. I want to announce that this Saturday, May 14th, we will hold our annual police memorial service in front of Village Hall at the Police Monument. That will be at 9 a.m. this Saturday, weather permitting. It'll be out front. If not, it'll be up here in the meeting room. The Immaculate Conception Church will have their carnival for the first time in several years because of COVID. The dates are June 2nd through June 5th. I want to let our residents know that we are meeting with the church probably this week to go over the parameters, as well as our law enforcement partners to make sure that it is a safe and enjoyable event for everyone who's attending. The week of June 5th, we will be up for reaccreditation. We will have 3 assessors from the Department of Criminal Justice Services of New York State down to have a in-person assessment that lasts 3 days. They will go over every one of our policies. They will interview members of the police department, and if everything goes well, we will be reaccredited. Once again, we've been accredited since 2002 continuously, and we don't foresee any problems this year. And just finally, just a little more than 2 weeks ago, I lost my dad, and I just wanted to thank the mayor, this village board, the village staff, the Department of Public Works, everyone that works for the village for their kind thoughts and sympathy, the members of my police department, as well as some of our surrounding agencies. They all made myself and my family helped us get through a very difficult time. So I just wanted to thank everyone, including all of our residents who had a kind word or said a prayer or just a good thought for my dad. It helped us get through a very difficult time. So thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Chief, I'm sorry. Can I just ask you, since we were talking about this earlier, there have been some questions about the hiring of new police officers and the process. Could you talk a little bit about the civil service rules with the scores and Just give people a brief outline.
So we follow the rules of New York State Civil Service Law as well as rules established by Westchester County Human Resources. The process is that there are categories of scores, usually rounded off in 5-point increments, so starting as high as 100 down to 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, and 70 is the lowest passing score. The process is that we, in Tuckahoe, go off of a local list, so we choose local village residents who are residents of the village as a priority, and we start with that list. And as we start from the higher marks, going down to the lower marks, there have to be at least 3 eligible candidates in each point range. So if we were in the 95 as an 95s as an example, if there are 3 or more candidates in that 95 range, we have to exhaust that list until it gets down to less than 2 or less. And then we could go into the next category, which would be 90s. I think we had close to 30 candidates in the village that passed the last exam. So we are just really at the top of the highest scores right now. And we will make our way through the list as we hire. We had hired 2 candidates that are now in the recruit school and should be graduating the police academy in late May. And we are looking forward to those candidates becoming Tuckahoe police officers. And we are looking to hire 2 more candidates in the next police academy class, which starts late July, first week of August. So right now we are canvassing, looking for candidates, starting background investigations. We interview first with the police staff and then later with the village board to choose the candidates. So that's the process. Candidates must not only score high enough on the civil service exam, but then have to pass a physical agility that's using a Cooper standard, which is a national standard for police officers. And once they pass the agility and the interview process is finished, they're given a job, conditional job offer, and at that point they must pass a physical and psychological exam.
Right. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent of DPW, Frank, do you have anything else other than the MS4 report? Gary? David?
Couple of quick items. I think I mentioned last time in regards to our traffic signal replacement, there was actually boots on the ground this morning. People were outside doing a lot of survey and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that the actual traffic signals that are going to be replaced are Fisher and Marbledale, Midland and Winter Hill, Cameron and Maine, and then finishing up Fisher and in Columbus. The pole's been there for quite some time, but this will actually finishing the project. So today they were actually out there doing some markings. Hopefully later this week we'll actually see them digging and doing some field work and things like that. The poles are still on back order, but we're going to get ready for all the infrastructure, all the wiring, all the underground stuff, and just kind of wait for poles. So, you know, this project's taken a lot longer than anybody wanted to, but just, you know, with a lot of different supply chain issues, it's just where we are right now. On a more positive note and a better project, our community center has started our bathroom renovations there. Long overdue, probably definitely the original bathrooms.
Ooh.
If you guys don't like the tile, I know you guys probably talked to Frank about that, but so the bathrooms are going to take about 3 weeks a piece. They're going to come out great. A really good local contractors doing them. At this point, just want to make sure everyone's aware that the one bathroom, currently the men's bathroom, is open right now. It's just a single-use bathroom until this project's done. But hopefully 6 to 8 weeks, no more than that, and we'll go from there.
Thanks. So just on, it's not miscellaneous, but it's under miscellaneous. Just a reminder that the village board meeting is on June 13th at 8 p.m. Please note the modified date. If you come on June 6th, no one will be here but you. And that takes us to the Board of Trustees. Say again? Oh, library. Duh. I didn't see Swadish, and I was just thinking wedding, Elaine, for you. What are you doing here? Well, we like show and tell.
Hear the report first, what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Some of us started last week.
And I need
That's
Zumba.
funny. We had 39 people sign up for tonight, so I don't know how many, but it's wonderful. So Mondays, every Monday at 5:30, online Zumba. And then we have on Fridays, every Friday at 12, exploring meditation. So both ends of the spectrum come to. We have in-person Medicare Explained on Monday, May 16th at 2 p.m. And that is in person. And online, What is a Power of Attorney and Why Do I Need One? On Tuesday, May 24th at 2 p.m. Now, we have in-person ukulele basics for kids on Monday, May 23rd at 4:15, ages 6 and up. We have a local musician, Ginger Kakaska, who is going to be teaching some introductory ukulele lessons. So I didn't bring the ukes with me tonight, but I will bring them to another meeting, and then you can see those, because I just only had 2 hands. We have a virtual escape room for ages 9 and up. Escape the Haunted Library on Tuesday, May 31st. Do you and your friends have what it takes to escape the haunted library before time runs out? And then we have our hybrid adult book club on Wednesday, May 25th at 6:30. We're doing The Wonder by Emma Donahue. And then we have all of our recurring programs that go on, yoga and Tai Chi and our children's yoga and art programs. So I did want to tell you some of the things that we have there are at the library. It's not just about books. So you can take out, these are our early literacy kits. These are provided with funds from the community fund, and these are wildly popular right now. So just wanted to show that to you. And then we have and those, again, for 3 weeks, you can take those out. All these items you can take out for 3 weeks. This is our Mr. Lynette Explorer bags. So you can go out with your family, with your backpack, into the wilds, and each pack has 2 sets of binoculars, beautiful binoculars, and a
I'm bringing my nephew.
little notepad and some identification materials. I'm not Vanna, I'm sorry, but just to give you an idea, this is wonderful.
Wow.
And this was donated by the Bronx River Sound Shore Audubon. We have 2 of these kits, so I just want you to come to the library and see what we've got. Thank you.
Very fun.
And how old do you have to be for that?
This is for families, have to take it out with the children.
Okay.
But there are 2 sets of binoculars in here.
And for
Very cool.
trustees. And for trustees.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank
you.
you, Elaine. Such a wonderful library. So this brings us to the Board of Trustee reports, and we'll start with Trustee Engelbert.
Oh my gosh, my very first.
Very first.
Very first report. So super exciting. So I'm getting my feet under the table with the trustee reports and with my different liaison kind of groups, but I have some great stuff to kind of update the village on. It makes it easy when we have a lot of really great programs and people here in the village. The first is on the community center, and David, you stole my number 1 bullet about the restroom renovations, which was really exciting for me to talk about. But I will kind of swagger a little, and I actually did get to weigh in on the tiles for the bathroom. So if you don't like them, maybe they went with my choice, maybe not. What was particularly nice about, I think, this was funded through a grant program. So this is just another kind of tile on the wall, might we say, of the fiscal good management of the village. And in my meeting with John Galuzzi and the team over there, they really have a wonderful program this summer for summer camp programs. So that community center is certainly getting kind of used this summer, including the Wiener Academy summer program for women, the task program, and there really is an amazing calendar of activities. It is truly a community center and being used. I encourage everyone out there to go to the Village of Tuckahoe website and click on that community center calendar kind of tab, and you can just see just how active the community center is. And if you do happen to want to have a birthday party or a club meeting, certainly you can see there on the calendar what's available and go on down and kind of book your party there. What else do I want to say? And the last bit I want to say in the community center is just a reminder that there is open gym on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 1:30 to 4 p.m. So if you feel like a little basketball, a little foosball, a little something that involves, I'm not really a sporty girl, but involves athletic equipment, we've got you covered from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and at 4 for the kids. The second bit is the library. Elaine, I'm so glad you brought the backpacks today, kind of to the meeting. So a couple of happy things and a couple of kind of not so happy things. Well, just one not so happy thing. So many of you probably have seen that there was a ransomware attack on the Westchester Public Library system that brought down the checkout system Evergreen, the internal network, the patron computers, and remote access. The county was as well prepared as you could be for this type of thing. It was able to restore services kind of relatively quickly. Did not, in fact, have to kind of pay these pirates for money, and no personally identifiable information, or PII, was exposed. So in terms of ransomware attacks, it was painful, but it was not kind of devastating. Now, our library is now exploring the acquisition of Chromebooks to sort out. The patron computers are still down. We're kind of going across the county on alphabetical order. T is not the best letter in the alphabet if you're going alphabetically, so those patron computers are still down. But do know that Chromebooks are actually a more secure device, so this is a strategic exploration kind of by the library. And so I want to give a shout out to our library team and the county library team as well, because this is not fun stuff when it comes to ransomware attacks. And I do encourage everyone out in the village that when you get that phishing email asking you kind of all sorts of questions or seems a little bit dodgy, don't click on the email because that's how this sort of thing kind of sorts out. Now, moving on to more positive stuff. The Friends of the Tuckahoe Public Library, and if you are not yet a friend, do go to the library and become a friend. It's quite a simple process. But they have sponsored the reintroduction of the museum passes at the library, which is wonderful kind of service. So you can go and check out, just as you might check out a book or one of those wonderful backpacks, passes for the American Museum of Natural History, the Guggenheim, MoMA, the Intrepid, the Hudson River Museum, the Children's Museum of Manhattan, the Westchester Children's Museum, and one of my personal favorites, so I'm supposed to be unbiased about all these wonderful museums, is the Storm King Art Center, and that should be kind of available as we move into the summer months. So an amazing, absolutely amazing kind of service. And the last bit is I wanted to give a special shout out to homework help that is offered by Mr. Rodanius at the library Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:30. And this is sponsored by the Tuckahoe Public Schools and is a way to make kind of extra homework help a little bit more accessible to students in their home neighborhoods. I think the services of our library are exceptional. It is a big part of why our community is the community that it is. So, Elaine, to you and Swadesh and the entire team, really, you make Tuckahoe a home in so many ways. And I will tell you, I was at a festival this past weekend where they had a ukulele band, and so I am, in fact, expecting our ukulele students to give the Fairfield Ukulele Band a run for its money this time next year. Moving on to Tuckahoe Public Schools, and I promise I will stop talking at some point, Renee. Tuckahoe Public Schools, if you are a resident of the Tuckahoe or zone for Tuckahoe Public Schools, the budget vote is on May 17th at the community center. Voting in all shapes and forms is a critical part of your civic duty, so do mark May 17th on your calendar and make sure to vote for that for that budget. More information about that is available on the Tuckahoe Public Schools website. Oh, awesome. Then even easier. And the community center where you can vote is, right around the corner as well. A congratulations to the Tuckahoe Public Schools, who are now ranked 5% nationally in U.S. News and World Report, though I have kind of uneven ideas about ranking schools. But Tuckahoe Public Schools are Tuckahoe Public High School is 93rd in the state and 883rd in the nation. Go Tigers! Roar. Do Tigers roar? They roar or something. And also congratulations to Jared Boyer and Brandon Lee, who are the valedictorian and salutatorian of Tuckahoe Public Schools, respectively, going on to major in pre-med and pre-dental and doing all sorts of amazing community service. So congratulations to both these incredible kind of young men.
All right.
And then the last bit from our History Commission. The new History Committee website is already in advanced planning stages, and they're working through the development of that, actually working with a Tuckahoe high school student as an intern to looking at digitizing the records, which is amazing. Our village historian, Nicholas Zanzano, will be giving a presentation on Tuckahoe before and after to the Eastchester Rotary Club on Wednesday, May 11th, so just this week, with the Eastchester Town historian Richard Forliano. They will also be discussing historic preservation. Bit of news, you've probably seen the posts on Facebook. April Facebook, 7 posts garnered over 5,100 views, which amazing. Juice is definitely worth the squeeze kind of on those posts. And the most popular one being an article about the Little League in Eastchester by Richard Forliano. While most of the audience was local, there were also folks from Italy and UK, Mexico, and Switzerland. This group is also continuing to update archives with new material. So if you have any photos or items that you want to share, please contact tuckahoearchive@gmail.com. And just a last reminder on that group, the History Committee meets on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 12 here in Village Hall, and there's more information about that on the Village website. So it's down. My first report is down.
Nice job.
Good job. Good job.
Deputy Mayor Howell.
Thank you. I want to congratulate the Tuckahoe Police Department for supporting the Special Olympics, such an important organization, and to our library for the crazy amount of topics they cover in their programs. Mm-hmm. For zoning and planning this month, the zoning board meeting is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on May 11th, with a working meeting a half hour prior to that. All items have been adjourned except for an area variance on 235 Alpine, which is for an addition. The next planning board meeting will be held May 17th at 7:30 p.m. Again, all items have been adjourned except for 10 Columbus Avenue, which is presenting a site plan for a new business, which I believe is Eyelash Extension. The zoning board meetings remain in person with a Zoom option, and planning board meetings are still by Zoom. Correct. Okay. We also have our new Historical Preservation Commission, which has been in operation for a couple months now, with one application before them for the Ward House. The meeting will be adjourned this month and will resume next month. Similar to Tuckahoe schools, the Eastchester schools will have their budget vote and trustee election held on Tuesday, May 17th. You can register to vote between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. at the district office at 580 White Plains Road in Eastchester. The final registration date is May 12th. The office will be open until 6 p.m. that day. Absentee ballot applications are available also at the district office, but you have to get them in by tomorrow. And then the absentee ballots have to be received by the district clerk on by 5 p.m. on May 17th. On May 11th, the Eastchester PTA Council, in conjunction with the League of Women Voters, will be holding a candidate forum. It will be at 6 p.m. It's only by Zoom. The candidates will be in person with the League of Women Voters. You can register to be able to join that meeting by going to the school district website, or I will put it on my trustee Facebook page as well. There are a number of critical items facing this school district over the next year. One, we are losing our superintendent, Rob Glass, who you'll remember a couple years came here to a Tuckahoe Village meeting, the first time a superintendent of Eastchester Schools has ever come to a Tuckahoe Village meeting. And unfortunately, he has decided, in part because it has been so difficult to work on the school board, to leave and take another position. So a superintendent search is going to be one of the first tasks of the new board, a really important task. In addition, they'll be managing over $75 million worth of work and infrastructure improvements that are to be done to the school district. And finally, they will be tasked with putting a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, which has been mandated by the state of New York. Again, a thing that over the past year has been very difficult to make progress on. So I don't think the stakes could be higher for this next school board, and I hope people who live in Tuckahoe, who are in the Eastchester School District, will come out and make sure their votes are heard for the budget and for the trustee positions. Also for school, it's kindergarten registration time, so if you have a child who's going to be 5 by December 1st, you need to contact the school district office to get them registered. I wanted to give a shout out to John Galuzzi and for organizing our Easter egg hunt. It was a lot of fun. We had a great participation. It was a crazy amount of eggs and people, and we're looking forward to seeing that continue next year. Wanted to let people know that on April 30th, through the efforts of our mayor, we were able to host another vaccine clinic. So we were able to vaccinate over 51 people for boosters, and that was through the Narayan Pharmacy and through the great help of some village volunteers, Peggy Gadet, Nick Neighbor, Nicole Engelbert was there in force, as was the rest of our board and mayor to help that effort. So I just wanted to thank everyone. On that day, I have to say there was one person who was absent who I missed very much. Quite unexpectedly, at the end of April, we lost a very dear member of our community, Cassie Savage. And for those of you who had the pleasure of knowing her, she, was a longtime resident. Her family's lived here in Tuckahoe for a very long time. But she was always ready to volunteer and help her community. She was, I would find myself walking and running often by her house because I knew I could always stop there and, get a hug, certainly get a laugh because she had a wicked sense of humor. And there was always some kind of good food that she was cooking. She always extended her heart to my family. She was one of the several fairy godmothers that my daughter has been able to acquire since we've been to Tuckahoe. There's not any set plans yet for service for her, but we will let you know as soon as we find out. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Taylor.
The Eastchester Community Action Partnership. The Clay Tile Project will be held on May 18th in collaboration with Arts Council of Westchester. Participants are needed to create a healing mural for Westchester County. To RSVP, call 914-337-7768. The next ECAP Food Pantry will be Wednesday, May 18th. The spring tennis clinic is back. The ECAP and B Tennis will have the tennis in the park for after-school kids with Coach Bryan starting May 21st to June 25th, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. They also have a summer camp, which starts July 6th to August 17th for kids ages 7 to 12 years old. Summer youth employment, which I'm sure there's a lot of young kids that need jobs these days. The ages are 14 to 24, so they have raised the age limit. This program has jobs available thanks to a lot Frank and the DPW and a lot of the businesses in the community who have agreed to provide jobs for the youth. So you can contact ECAP at that same number, 914-337-7768. The Veterans Ceremony Committee of Eastchester and Tuckahoe. The flag placement will be held on May 21st. They will be placed on the veterans' graves at Holy Mount Cemetery and at all of the monuments in Tuckahoe and Eastchester. Sunday, May 22nd, the Volunteer Firemen's Benevolence Association of the town of Eastchester, following the 8 a.m. EFD Mass at Immaculate Conception, they will have a memorial ceremony at the EFD Monument at John Albanese Plaza and White Plains Road. Also on May 22nd, in a private ceremony honoring Fidel Plastini for his service, he will be presented with a shadow box recognizing his accomplishments for his service. Sunday, May 29th, the Eastchester Tuckahoe Memorial Day Ceremony Committee will They will have their ceremony commemorating the 80th anniversary of the Doolittle Raid. This will be held at the Bronxville High School auditorium. Doors open at 6:15 p.m. The program starts at 7 p.m. The theme is "There is nothing stronger than the heart of a volunteer." Please come out and support the veterans in this great event. On Memorial Day, May 30th, following the Village of Bronxville's 100th Memorial Day Parade, the veterans will be placing wreaths at all of the monuments in Tuckahoe and Eastchester. The A.C. Jeffers VW Post number 2768 here in Tuckahoe is actively seeking new members. Anyone interested in joining should contact Quartermaster Edward Stowe at 914-260-3980. And last but not least, Deputy Mayor Howe mentioned the passing of Cassie Savage. I pretty much grew up with Cassie my whole life. She lived across the street from me for the last 50 years since I moved to Jefferson Place. She was a friend of mine, lifetime friend of mine. And, you know, my condolences go out to the Savage family. She will be sorely missed. She was an awesome, awesome friend and individual. And then also to Rose Hook. She lived basically right next door to me, the house right next door to me. She was another wonderful person. I called her one of my other mothers. She actually helped raise me, because back in the day when I was young, it took a village to raise a child. And she was one of those mothers that helped raise me. So the condolences to that family. And then we also, I believe, lost Gilda DeMeo. I did not know her. I knew of Freddie DeMeo, but I'm not sure if he was related to her. But condolences to the DeMeo family. And a happy belated Mother's Day to all of the mothers, because not all of them go on our social media. So for those who didn't see our post, happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Taylor. Trustee Cronin?
Hi, everybody. I hope everybody is well. From the Tuckahoe Seniors, last week I attended the Senior Advisory Board meeting of the Senior Citizens Council, which was their first meeting since 2019, and they're happy to be up and running back in person following the pandemic. There, the Bronxville seniors and the Tuckahoe seniors gave their yearly reports, and I just would like to give a special acknowledgement to Jennifer Vetromile and the board of the Tuckahoe seniors tonight. You all may not know that the Tuckahoe Seniors is one of the oldest senior citizen centers in Westchester County and the longest running. The they did an incredible job during and since the pandemic, and I think that they should be acknowledged for that. During the pandemic, the Tuckahoe Seniors was one of the few senior centers operating in the county. They quickly regrouped when everything shut down to set up Zoom programming and activities every Tuesday and Thursday for more than 16 months. Together, Tuckahoe and Bronxville senior committees offered Zoom programs which included exercise, tai chi, motion to music, as well as bingo, bridge, art classes, programs, musical programs, presentations, and talks, and other COVID updates from the county. They partnered with the Village of Tuckahoe and the board, and now Mayor Andino, to help do testing. They set up volunteers to make deliveries, grocery deliveries. They set up phone chains to make sure that the members were regularly contacted so that nobody would go lonely for extended periods of time. And then when vaccines became available, thanks to Mayor Andino, they made vaccine appointments and helped to take seniors to those appointments. So I just want to give them a big thank you for all that hard work. Sometimes that work goes unrecognized, and it is important for us to really recognize. So if you see Jennifer Vetremile or any of the senior citizen board members, including President Arlene Gruber, just give them a thank you. This month, the seniors are doing their annual hot dog lunch, which is $8 per person on May 26th at noon. The monthly member meeting takes place on May 12th. Please note the earlier time of 12 o'clock. Afterwards, bingo will follow. And then myself and the mayor and the rest of the board of trustees will be there for a Meet the Mayor event at the Tuckahoe Seniors on May 24th at 1 o'clock. So if you want to come by and say hello, please do so. From the county, for the seniors, the county and the Livable Communities Center is doing a memoir writing workshop for older adults, and these are classes that meet on Zoom from 2 to 4 on Thursdays in June and July, and then they'll do a story salon. Also, Westchester County is doing a Salute to Seniors in Southern Westchester, which is a program with exhibits and programming services and screenings for seniors, and that takes place on May 25th at Glen Island Park from 10 to 12:30. I will post that information on my Facebook page, and anybody who has any questions can reach out. From the Tuckahoe Environmental and Sustainability Committee, the Bronx River Cleanup River Sweep was postponed this week because of the weather. So Saturday's weather was pretty miserable. And so they will be doing the river sweep this Saturday, the 14th, after the police ceremony. They'll be starting gathering at 10, and they're there until 2 o'clock. So this is a great way for families to help the community, to come by, bring gloves, bring garbage bags if you can, but they also supply those. And, you can help clean up the area in and around the Bronx River. And so any students who need volunteer hours, this is another really good way to get those volunteer hours for different programs they might be in. The Test Tree Planting Program has been very successful. 5 residents have requested and gotten trees planted in front of their homes. This program is still open, and you can request a tree on the TESC website. There are some limits to space and requirements, but the form will get the process started for anybody who might be interested. From the Beautification Committee, they welcome 2 new members, Megan Kennedy, who's working on social media, and Zia Harmon, who's doing graphics and grants. And you will notice that they have a new Facebook and IG account for the Tuckahoe Beautification Committee. So please like, share, and follow the IG account if you're on Instagram, and Facebook if you're on Facebook. And you will find in those posts a link to their donation site. So this is a good time to go check that out and click on the donation link, and please help them out because they are getting ready to do their geranium plantings, and you'll notice the baskets going up hopefully this month. And that is all from them. The Juneteenth Committee has set the date for this year's Juneteenth celebration. So the big outdoor Juneteenth celebration will be June 18th, which is Saturday. And over the course of that week, there will be different programs. But the Juneteenth Committee is very much in need of volunteers, people to help out planning and the day of. So if you are interested, you should reach out to Adrienne Michelle or myself, and I will happily put you in touch with her. Speaking of which, this year's Juneteenth celebration is presented in loving memory of, again, Cassie Savage, who I was very lucky to get to know, and someone who is really so important to, I think, everybody on this board. Cassie was a true testament to what it means to serve your community. She was always there, vaccine clinics, testing clinics, no matter what we asked her to do. And I said this maybe 3 months ago at a board meeting. She really was a team player and a wonderful addition to this community, and she will be very, very missed. Again, I'd like to extend my condolences, as Trustee Taylor said, to Rosa Hook's family, the Hook and the Coleman family. She was a matriarch of this community as well, and somebody who will be very missed. And Gilda DeMeo, who served for a very long time on the Assessment Review Committee and was a longtime resident of Fisher Avenue. So our condolences go out to all of those families. And I think that is it.
Thank you, Trustee Cronin. And I'd just like to echo the sentiments that have already been expressed. I attended the Chief's father's service, which was a beautiful service, and although it was a solemn occasion, it was also a joyous one. And I heard so many wonderful stories about the Chief's dad and what he meant to his family, and just the beautiful long life that he lived. And in the same time frame, we have someone's untimely death, and it really, really does strike you. And I was just thinking about conversations that I had with Cassie. We talked about our political differences. We talked about, her family and how her family's been here their entire life. And one day I went by to visit her and told her I was going to see my family in Brooklyn. And she said, "Brooklyn? I've never been to Brooklyn." I said, "You've never been to Brooklyn?" And so I said, "Do you want to go with me?" And she did. And so I have such a fond memory remembering her going to Brooklyn and me telling her, "Stop acting like you're a tourist. Pretend you're not looking." And she was so excited. So I feel really privileged that I introduced her to Brooklyn. So that's a memory that I'll carry that only the two of us shared. I also want to extend condolences to, all of the other families. It's just seemed like there were so many people who passed away in the last month or so. So my condolences and the board's condolences go out to all the families who have lost loved ones, those whom we knew about and those who we didn't. I'm really excited to have heard the news about Tuckahoe ranking, 5% in the U.S. and top 100 high schools in New York. So I want to congratulate the administrators, the teachers, the staff, and the students. It's an exciting announcement. Also, we had some birthdays. We presented a proclamation to Pauline Babakian, who turned 100 years old. And she was just tickled when she was receiving her proclamation and was serenaded by some of the residents. And Trustee Cronin presented her with the proclamation. And also today, most of you probably know Lovely Billups. She turns 90 years old. Today is her 90th birthday. And I said 90 is the new 60 when you look at Lovely. I also want to reiterate what Deputy Mayor said, about the Easter egg hunt. Thank you to John Galuzzi. Thank you to the Deputy Mayor, who was very, very good at being the Easter Bunny. So I think she said we should take turns. I nominate her for next year. And also to DPW, who every year, helps to set up and works with John to make sure that everything is straight. So thank you, Frank, for the guys that come out. We are finalizing the Master Plan Committee members. So pretty soon we will announce who will serve on that committee. And I want to inform anyone who did submit a request to serve on the committee that if you're not chosen, because it will be a limited group of people, that there will be plenty of opportunities to participate in that process. So happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy belated Mother's Day. I hope that you all took care of your moms. And for those of you who did not have your mom with you, my heart goes out to you, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, you found some solace in the memories of your mom and in spending time with those who may have reminded you of her. And I also, last but not least, want to congratulate Tony and Jade, whom I officiated their wedding for. They were married on Cinco de Mayo, right here in Village Hall, and it was the first wedding to officiate, and it really was a beautiful one. So congratulations, Tony and Jade. And that's it for me. I would like to offer anyone a second opportunity to address the board, so you may come now. Ken Folia.
Ken Folia, 28 Bronx Street, board members, mayor. The reason why I'm coming up is I live on Bronx Street across from the park. We've had some challenges there. Generally, everybody is excellent. Everybody comes in, does their thing, and there are generally no problems. But what the challenge is, and I've spoken to probably about 95% of the homeowners. I have not gotten back down to the consulate because it's private. You can't get in ring doorbells. So basically, everybody's in agreement with what the challenges are. First of all, the park obviously has a lot of different communities coming in, soccer players and ball players and leagues, especially the soccer players recently and in the spring and in the fall. A lot of young children are running around, that's what the park's for. But the problem we're having is there are a lot of speeding cars. And people don't realize, especially when it's very crowded in the park, there's cars that, well, I don't have a driveway, so I lose my designated parking spot. But, you put up with that. That's the part of the situation. But, if a little kid jumps out that you can't see, somebody's speeding, I think everybody's a little guilty. They forget where they are. So I think that poses a big problem, number one. That's one of the issues that we have. We have some suggestions. I'll give it to you at the end. The second challenge we have are the submarine races on a Friday and Saturday night. I guess you all know what a submarine race is? Okay. So you weren't born. You weren't born in the 50s, I guess. Basically, if you watched American Graffiti, you might know. Basically, it's a term for lovers' lane. Okay, submarine races. You can't park and watch a submarine race unless, well, they're underwater. So I'm having a little fun with it. Be fair with me. So anyway, I wanted to see and test you all to see what you knew, what was going on. The bottom line is, late at night on Friday and Saturday nights, we get parked cars that come into Lover's Lane, okay? Predominantly on Bronx Street on the park side, and I think they're also taking advantage of the darkness on Railroad Street, which runs down to the consulate. But it's not only that we have strangers parking there at night, and everybody was young, and let's face it, that's life. But when you wake up the next morning and find certain items in the street, like contraceptives used, and this isn't the first time, and I'm not the only one, you have to draw the line at that point. So that's challenge number 2. Challenge number 3, I don't think is as bad, but during the ballpark players, when the leagues come in, and again, they're enjoying themselves, and that's great. But a lot of times after the games, they might have a couple of sodas, but they leave all the debris. And I don't know if a message can be put out to the leagues to maybe help have this cleaned up. The neighbors, especially on Railroad, were talking about this. As far as the submarine races, maybe we can get a little help from the town and the police department to maybe on a Friday and Saturday night to make, some ongoing patrols between the hours of maybe 11, 12 midnight to 2 a.m. That's when we notice this happens. Maybe if the police department would shine their lights on the parked cars as they drive by, that might help. Okay, very cheap.
Only God knows what they'll see.
But that might help. And that wasn't directed to you, Chief. But also with the problem with the speeding cars, maybe we can get some speed bumps in the area. I'm not talking giant speed bumps made out of blacktop or anything like that. We can go with maybe with some temporary ones. Maybe the Department of, I'm sorry.
Public Works.
Maybe there are rubber ones out there that could be put in, and if they are a problem, they can be removed. So this way it's not as permanent, but it'd be a good way to test maybe 2 or 3 of them in strategic areas to slow down the traffic. So that's my concern.
Okay.
It's not just my concern, it's all the neighbors in the area. So
Thank you.
any suggestions from the town on the next steps on what we can
So I did see the chief writing a lot. He's writing a lot. So that means that the chief is on it.
I'm sure he
And
is.
so, and we'll have a discussion about the use of, the speed bumps. A lot of schools have thought about whether or not they work, but the chief does have a process for looking at different communities where they're speeding, to track to see when it's happening, how often it's happening, and then taking action. So I'm sure the chief is going to, and we'll have a discussion about these issues.
Not just, and I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay.
It's not just the visitors of the park. Some of the neighborhoods
Right.
forget about the children that are running around
Right.
as well. So I think I've probably been guilty myself, so.
Okay.
But I try to take care in it because one wrong move and you got a problem.
Yep.
So let's try to avoid problems moving forward. That's my spiel.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Josh Gacchione, 120 Bella Vista. I board from submarine races to aeronautics. I want to thank Trustee Taylor for bringing this up. This year, VFW Post 2285, along with American Legion Post 979, are honoring the Doolittle Raiders, the 80th anniversary of the mission that they flew in World War II over Japan. We will also be honoring the Tuskegee Airmen, as well as the WASPs, the Women Air Force Service Pilots. We are looking for volunteers still for readers, as well as scouts and other young folk who may want to come in and do things like the national anthem and things like that. We're also looking for sponsors, so feel free. A little more of the information, if you see these, and there we go. If you see these around town, in conjunction with the 100th anniversary of the Bronxville Memorial Parade, we are holding it in Bronxville this year at the high school auditorium. It's Sunday, May 29th. Doors open at 6:15. Program starts at 7. I have had the word of several people that we are going to keep this ceremony under an hour. So you will not be there all night.
Okay.
So come and join us. Any questions? I want to thank the board members too. I know a lot of you have put this on your Facebook pages, so thank you. And if you have any questions, you can contact me. You can contact Vito Pinto, Bob Foster, or anybody else who's involved. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom would like to address the board on any items? No, David? Okay. So having said that, just a reminder, the next village board meeting, I'll repeat, is on June 13th at 8 p.m. June 13th at 8 p.m., next board meeting. Okay? Have a good night, Tuckahoe. See you next month.
Good night.